Today we're going to introduce you to geometry and two-dimensional shapes, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of different definitions today as well that have to do with geometry. The first thing we're going to look at is a polygon, okay? So polygon is a name for most of the basic shapes that we're going to look at, okay? A polygon is a flat, closed shape with straight sides and angles. Okay, so flat, by the way, would be two-dimensional. So these are 2D shapes. So we're going to look at some of these terms and see what they mean so we can kind of figure out what a polygon is. So the first thing it says is it's a closed shape. So over here you'll find examples of closed shapes. And over here you'll find examples of open shapes. Now if you look at each category for a minute, you should be able to see the difference between the two. So closed shapes literally means there are no openings. It's like a fenced-in backyard that you can't get out of. Okay, there's no openings for the dog to escape. There's no gates left open. But if you go over here, an open figure is not completed. It's not connected all the way. It has quite literally an opening in it. Okay, and this is just, I don't really know what that is. The next part of the definition we want to look at is straight sides. So a polygon has straight sides. So what's interesting is some of the things have moved from here to here and from here to here. So this is an open shape, but it has straight sides. This is a closed shape, but it does not have straight sides. This is also a closed shape, but it does not have straight sides. This is neither. Okay, this is a closed shape with straight sides. This is a closed shape with open sides. But a polygon has to have both. And actually, this one needs to move because this does not have straight sides. So, that being said, a polygon is a flat, closed shape with straight sides. So these three, based on that definition, would be polygons, and these would not. Okay, now there are certain types of polygons that we're used to working with when we're talking about geometry. We have a triangle, has 3 sides, like a triangle. Quadrilateral has 4, so like a quad literally has 4 wheels. A pentagon has 5 sides, so you'll notice that we're working our way up, right? So we have 3, 4, 5. A hexagon has 6 sides. A heptagon, that's a word we don't use much, has 7. An octagon has 8. A nonagon has 9. And a decagon has 10. Okay, so those are pretty common geometrical shapes. Now, here's some other terms that we might use when we're describing shapes. We might describe shapes as congruent, similar, or they might not be either of those things, okay? So congruent and similar have very specific definitions in geometry. So congruent shapes are 2 or more shapes that are the same size and the same shape. All the sides, excuse me, I gotta fix that. All the sides are the same length and all the angles are the same. So if you look at these 2 shapes are exactly the same shape, they're exactly the same size, and they have the same size angles. So your angles is where 2 straight lines come together, okay? Same thing here, same size, same shape, same angles, same size, same shape, same angles, okay? So all 3 of these sets are congruent. Now if you go over here, you have the words similar. So similar is they look the same, but they're not exactly the same. So in this instance, they're both circles, but they're different sizes. Okay? For them to be congruent, both circles would have to be the exact same size. Over here, we have hexagons, and they're the same shape, and they have the same angles, but they're not the same size. Okay? Now over here, we have shapes that are not similar, and they are not congruent. Okay? In order to be similar, your sides have to go up by the same amount. So if you look at this one, these sides get bigger and these sides do not. Okay? So for these 2 shapes to be similar, this shape would have had to have gotten taller as well as wider. And then if you look at these two, this triangle, these two sides are longer than the bottom. And this triangle, all three sides are the same. So those are neither similar nor congruent. Okay. Another term that we're going to be looking at is what is a regular polygon and a polygon that is not regular. Okay, so, well, what does regular mean? Well, regular means a lot of things, but in geometry, what regular means is a shape where all the sides and angles are the same size. Okay, so to be regular, all your sides and angles have to be the same size. So that would be a triangle with all three sides the same length. That would be a quadrilateral with all four sides the same length, which we also call a square. That would be a pentagon with all sides the same length, a hexagon with all sides the same length, and an octagon with all sides the same length. Now you can be a polygon and have sides that are different lengths. Okay, that would mean you are not regular. So this is a triangle, but it is not a regular triangle because the sides are not the same. This is still a quadrilateral. All you have to do to be a quadrilateral is have four sides, but it is not a regular quadrilateral. This is a five-sided shape. It is a pentagon, but it is not a regular pentagon. The sides are not the same. This crazy looking thing is a hexagon. It has six sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it is a hexagon. It's a weird looking hexagon. It is not regular. Sometimes we call it irregular. This one over here, that's regular. All the sides are the same. This one, not regular. And the last example you have is a octagon. Again, this is an 8-sided shape, but the sides are definitely not the same. So that would not be a regular polygon. Okay, this gives you a little breakdown of some of the characteristics of each of these shapes. A circle, while is a shape that we will look at, it is not a polygon, because remember, to be a polygon you have to have all straight sides. So that is the one shape that's in this group that is not a polygon. Okay, so equilateral triangle, any triangle has three sides, but an equilateral triangle has three equal length sides. Okay, so these are all your regular shapes and the characteristics of those shapes. I'd like you to take a look at these a second and pause and see if you can figure out which of the shapes are regular and which of the shapes are not regular. So go ahead and pause for a second, and then when you think you know, play and see what the answer is. Okay, are you ready? This is not a regular shape. This side is shorter than this one. This is a regular shape. If you count using the boxes, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long going this way. So this is a square. It is a regular polygon. This one here is not. You can kind of tell just by looking at it because these sides, this one and this one, are smaller than all the others. And then over here you've got the triangle. So to figure this out, we got to do some counting. So it looks like it's about 1, a little bit of this and that would be 2, that would be 3, that would be 4. So it looks like it's about 5 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so looking on this one, that this bottom is longer than the other two sides. So it looks like in this group we only have one regular polygon and the other three are not regular. I'd like you to take a minute and look at each of these shapes. For this one, you're looking for the shape that is congruent. So you're looking for the one that is exactly the same in each row. So why don't you go ahead and pause for a second and see if you can figure out which ones those are. So how did you do? Did you find the congruent shape in each row, the shape that is exactly the same as the one on the end? I think that you might be ready to go find and identify some shapes on your own. So remember, what makes a polygon? A flat, closed shape with straight sides and angles. Your different types of polygons and how many sides each one has. What makes something congruent? Exactly the same size and shape. And what makes something regular and not regular? A regular polygon is a polygon where all the sides are the same length, and an irregular one has different length sides.